Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Comics from the Future. I'm Jason,
I'm Andy.
and we're with Infinity Flux Comics in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, Comics from the Future is the show we do every single week where we show you all the comics that are available for pre order. I'd say this week is a little bit of a small week, which is real good on the wallet, leaves us all with some extra spending cash.
Yep.
One of the reasons there is no DC to order this week. They did 2 weeks of it last week, and that's because come President's Day, when those comics are supposed to be there, they don't have any comics arriving on President's Day. So let's see what comics are available this week. We're going to begin with our featured comics. These are issue number ones and sort of major series that we think people want to hear about the most.
Yeah, Marvel's coming in strong though. I like how they kind of trade off doing stuff because Doctor Strange #1 is coming out. So this is by the writer of all the previous Doctor Strange for the little bit, Jed MacKay, who did Death of Doctor Strange.
Right.
Then that rolled into Strange. Now we're back into Doctor Strange, and the gang's all here for this one. It sounds like because we've got of course Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange. We have Clea and Wong are all going to be present in this book. So I like how it's kind of building up a little like
their little strange family.
Yeah. Every little pocket of the Marvel Universe has the families now, and this is really great. And from what I can tell, oh, by the way, the art in this one is done by Pascal Ferry. And what I think is interesting about this is there's not a whole lot of, in the solicitations and the write-ups about this, there's no like, here's the big story. It kind of starts off by saying, the gang's all here. We've got the team. And if you look forward to issues number 2 and 3, they're each kind of standalone stories. So I feel like just kind of how Fantastic Four has done that recently, where the first maybe 4 or 5 issues are kind of standalone stories, and then they are slowly building up a big thing. That's how this Doctor Strange is going to be. So I'm really excited. Jed MacKay does really good one and done little stories. Did those back when he does annuals and all of that. And it seems like for the beginning of Doctor Strange, it's going to be about that. So I'm very excited about this. We've got Alex Ross returning to do covers.
Definitely an Alex Ross cover right there.
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying that. And this is ongoing. So if you've been reading all of the stuff so far, I feel like it's just natural. You're going to go straight from Strange into Doctor Strange. So this is our A cover by, of course, Alex Ross. Then we have the Alex Ross Timeless
Another timeless villain cover of the, I think, 37 that he's doing.
And what's cool about this Dormammu cover is issue 3, it looks like, is going to be possibly a team up between Doctor Strange and Dormammu. So we're gonna have to see, but all your favorites are gonna be coming to this series.
He looks like he's smiling or laughing.
Yeah, he's having a good time.
Yeah, we gotta have Dormammu doing some stand-up comedy with a smile like that.
Okay, then we have the CASELLI Marvel Icons variant with America Chavez, who I bet will make an appearance in this series.
Yep. So is this a new variant series?
I believe this is a new variant
series. I thought so. And they'll have in the upper left, you see there's like the sort of comic with just her.
Yeah. Yeah, and these I believe are called Marvel Icon variants.
All right.
Then we have the COCCOLO Stormbreaker variant. At first I thought this was a Planet of the Apes cover with all of them down there. I was like, oh, but no, it's not the Planet of the Apes. And then we have the SKROCE Infinity Saga variant, where it looks a little bit more like Benedict Cumberbatch.
All right, so I'm going to tell you about a new book called Astrobots. This is from publisher Whatnot. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries. So I know Whatnot, they have been throwing out a lot of miniseries. The reason we featured this one is because we think it might appeal to people who like Transformers, people who like Robotech, perhaps. It's written by Simon Furman, who is the original Transformers writer.
Yep.
So, they really dug down to find the guy that might, get people to give this one a chance. The art is by Hector TRUNNEC, and this is based on a toy line. I'm not really very aware of this toy line, though, this Astrobot toy line. It
seems fairly new. It's not like one of your retro toy lines. It's a pretty new, kind of premium toy line.
I see. So, you can be an early adopter of the toy line, early adopter of the comics. So the plot is that the Astrobots have been created by humanity to go into space to find habitable worlds. Earth is having lots of problems and it looks like it might be doomed. And so the Astrobots have to go out there and try to find a new place for us to live. So that sounds like a fun enough plot that could go many different ways.
Especially since, there's no Transformers series going on currently. It's in between, if you're a fan of mechs and mecha stuff, this could fill in your gap for that.
And of course, since it's Whatnot, we have a few variants. Here is the TRUNNEC variant. So this is your interior artist doing the variant cover here.
I love giant robots wearing like scarves and capes.
They're cool.
They're cool.
They're a little chilly. Here is the BURCHAM variant. Then we have this PEREZ variant.
It's very almost Gundam.
And lastly, a KRAFT variant.
And next up, we have the Women of Marvel special coming out. This is going to be an anthology style comic with, it doesn't list all of the creators in it, but the main one it brings up is Melissa Flores, who is kind of an up and coming writer. And this is first big thing with Marvel. So in this, we're going to get characters like, of course, America Chavez. We're going to get She-Hulk, Silk, and it looks like probably a Monica Rambeau story in there as well, along with Miss Marvel. So I think this is really cool. I always like when they do these anthologies. They're always a lot of fun. And there is, of course, a bunch of covers for this as well. So first off, I guess this is another one of those icons.
For sure. See, at least they're making it. The Planet of the Apes ones are obvious too, but sometimes it's less. But with that thing in the upper left corner, that's really
and this one is by CASELLI. Then we have the CORIN HOWELL variant, which is super cool.
Yeah, the homage to Bloodstone #1.
Yep.
I know, because we just picked up a 1 through 4 set. I know, it's actually fairly pricey.
Then we have the Romina Jones variant. And we have the SAUVAGE variant. If you can't tell, you can tell from the title and everything, these are all women artists, writers, and creators working on this title.
Okay, so another indie book I want to tell you about, it is called Popscars. This is also a miniseries. This is going to be a 6-issue miniseries by Cimmerian. You can see the publisher name there at the bottom. This is written by Pat O'Malley with art by Santi Gillen, who is also your cover artist. So this gives you an idea of what the interior art will likely look like. This is set in Hollywood, and it's about a pink mask wearing vigilante who we have on the cover here, who is trying to take down this evil movie producer that also happens to be her father. So not a whole lot more I know about this. I think this is more calling to people through the art, through the setting.
It definitely has style to it. Yeah.
So that is what we know of Popscars #1 of 6. This is the regular cover. There's also 2 variants. This is the B cover. And then we have the C cover.
Oof, looks like it gets a little rough.
This should have been the B cover for Bloody.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is called No One. And this is our next installment in the Massive Verse. For, of course, starting out with Radiant Black and Radiant Pink and Radiant Red. And
another one.
Yes. They are going all out for the Massive Verse. And once again, Kyle Higgins is staying busy because this is co-written by Kyle Higgins and Brian Buccellato, which I know back from his work on stuff like The Flash. And the art is by Gerardo Borges. And this sounds really interesting. So apparently there's been a string of murders in Pittsburgh, and some copycat killers have emerged, but a mass vigilante rises to, stop this from happening. But the thing about this vigilante is that, unlike Batman or whatever, who's like, oh, I'm a symbol, I'm all this person doesn't, they want to go out there and be like, I'm not a symbol, I'm not an individual person. I can be anyone or no one.
I was about to say, so what they're saying is they're no one.
Right. Yeah, that's how we get around to the name.
Titular.
But I think the other really interesting thing about this is and back when they did the Radiant Black mystery box, Kyle Higgins and his whole massive universe has been very creative in the way they've done things, and this is no different. This is actually going to have a companion podcast. So this is running for 10 issues, and it is a companion podcast featuring Rachel Lee and Patton Oswalt. So I'm not sure how that's going to be. Is it going to be like an in-universe, or are they just going to be like talking about each issue? I don't know, but I once again give it to Kyle Higgins for thinking outside the box with his comics and thinking, what is more ways we can get readers engaged with the story? And I think that's super cool.
And both of them have their fans, especially people who listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not like, hey, the comic is sold okay, but the podcast is doing great, But
Yeah.
I do feel there's going to be some people who tune into the podcast not even knowing about the comic.
Yeah.
Like, I just like Patton Oswalt. And it's like, okay, go buy this comic now.
Yeah.
You'll understand what
He's
they're
really
talking
talking
about.
up this thing that I have no idea about. But no, I think this is awesome. Of course, we've also got some variant covers. So this is our A cover. Then we have our Montes variant. And we have our Ingart variant.
Okay, so those were our featured comics. We have a few other number ones I'm going to show you, and then a whole bunch of variants and other cool things. But I got ahead of myself earlier. I forgot. I need to mention that you can order all of these things through our new website at infinityflux.net. You can set up an account, and then from there you can go to Last Call FOC, where you will see the very books we're going over this week. And all you got to do is click on the one you want, and you can either subscribe to the series or just subscribe to whatever cover you want. It is that simple. That is infinityflux.net. Now, on with the rest of the show.
Our regular scheduled program.
Yes, on to the rest of the show. And a big thanks to everyone who has already started ordering comics through us. We appreciate that. Helps keep the lights on, helps us pay our workers their living wages. So, first up, we have The Forge. This is a new one by Greg Rucka. I like Greg Rucka.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a solid, awesome writer. He's written more things than I could even, come up with off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he is not afraid to tell a lot of different sorts of stories. So even though this one, I don't have tons of details on it, the solicitation only kind of gives hints as to what it is. I already know I want to check it out when it gets here. So this is actually co-written by Rucka with Eric Troutman, and the art is done by Mike Henderson. So this is set in the 11th millennium, but I don't think they mean of Earth.
Okay.
I think this is way in the future of whatever universe they're doing. And it's under the rule of this person called the Eternal Empress. Basically, there is this squad of planet-smashing super soldiers. I think we see that
Yeah.
sort of on the cover there. And that's about all that they tell you. It's just these super soldiers, interplanetary. The work is supposed to be inspired by heavy metal and Conan. They say all the comics that your parents didn't want you reading. So.
And it looks like it might be magazine sized.
I would say so. It's definitely, you can tell by the dimensions there.
Which Image hasn't done in quite a while to my memory.
That is true. So I think the main takeaway, it's another Greg Rucka book. Those are always really interesting.
Yeah.
We, of course, review comics every Monday. So when this gets here in 3-4 weeks,
yeah,
I'm sure we'll do a full-on review of it. But here's your chance to order it now, to guarantee your order, because it's open order through this Sunday. And
just one cover.
Yeah,
for
just
this
the one cover, no variant.
Okay, next up we are returning to the world of Ranger Stranger, which is such a charmingly creepy cover.
Really creepy.
So this is, I couldn't tell if this is called Ranger Stranger Deep Cuts. And at first I was like, it kind of feels like a rarities and B-sides kind of idea.
Right.
But it didn't say too much about that. It's just another entry in this tale of a majestic park called Hackneck, which is, very apt. Hackneck National Park, where everything from the wildflowers to the park rangers are out to get you. So it's just another fun. It gives me almost like Yogi Bear vibes, but very dark and demented. So if that sounds like something you would like, this would be a good one to try out.
It looks like an Adult Swim show idea.
It does, yeah.
That's
It's kind of
what
like
I
an
get.
Archer art style.
Yep.
And the one cover for that one.
Okay, so that's all your number ones this week. Now we're going to get on to cool covers and other comics. including the variants we think are most noteworthy this week, and then later issues of series that we just want to bring up. Beginning with, check out this Davila Planet of the Apes variant for Carnage.
They do not stand a chance.
Yeah.
These Planet of the apes are in for it with the Marvel Universe.
Again, this is the Davila variant for Carnage number 11. And then we have this Mastrazo variant also for Carnage number 11. And in this, so Cletus Cassidy, he's been kind of around. He's been in the head of the detective guy, Shade. Well, Cletus and Carnage are going to sort of get back together in this, but not necessarily a nice way. The Carnage symbiote is very angry at Cletus, so we get to see what it does to him.
Okay, next up we have Amazing Spider-Man number 22.
What's going on here?
Yeah, this is a very wild cover, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is a new character. So in this, it says a new mysterious figure we find out maybe behind the disappearance of Mary Jane and Peter Parker. It looks like he probably ate them from what the cover looks like. But so I think this is leading up to the big issue like 25 and everything, where a bunch of stuff is supposed to be shaken up in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. So this is our A cover. And then we have
the Icons
cover. The Icons variant, and this one is by let's see. This is CASELLI. Very cool. And I like how it's the Peter Parker in the corner and then Spider-Man.
Yeah, maybe it's here's the hero and then here's them outside of heroics. Yeah. And so with some, it's going to be obvious like this, but with others that don't wear the mask, it won't be as obvious. Okay, so this is the Kyle Hotz variant for Punisher number 10. And in this issue, it says that Punisher is finally fully powered up by what he's been doing. And so that's some of what's going on in Punisher number 10. Again, this is the Hotz variant.
And then we have She-Hulk number 11. And this is going to be big because it says it's a new jumping on point because there is going to be a new villain appearing in New York that's going to come head to head with She-Hulk. I think they have revealed this new villain. I think I saw an article. I don't remember what their name is, but yeah, I always like this. A new jumping on point with a new story arc. And this has been a great series. So this is our Bartel A cover. And then we have the Yagawa variant.
She's just chilling out.
Just chilling in her white void.
Okay, so I believe this is the main cover to Storm and Brotherhood of Mutants number 2. So this issue is gonna go 100 years and 1,000 years since the beginning of the Age of Sinister. Mm-hmm. So if you read the last one, you know Storm and her little group, they're the only people that have survived. Some real messed up things happened in that first issue. Not all of them made it out. There was a lot of backstabbery going on. But when 90% of everyone seems to be infected by Sinister DNA.
What do you expect?
Yeah, things are dire. So this is the main cover. Then here is the Loeb Marvel Anatomy variant.
Very interesting.
Here is the SOS March variant. Not sure what the SOS is for that exactly. Oh,
Sins of Sinister.
Sins of Sinister. Okay.
They always do that, and it.
Yeah. And then here is the Women's History variant.
Which is almost looking like one of those icon variants. It's just missing the little corner box. But it's got the single color background.
And then issue number 1's going back to second print with this awesome new cover. This is the U cover for issue number 1's second print.
A lot of the Sins of Sinister stuff is like a lot of Marvel events where it's, we've got a fair amount of people signed up for it, but then it starts officially, and then people are scrambling to go back and get the beginning of it. So I'm glad they're doing this because I even had someone today who was like, hey, can I get that Storm Sins of Sinister tie-in? It's like, yep, but the first issue has already come out. So don't miss out signing up for these because we've still got quite a bit of them to go and you don't want to miss out on them. Okay, next up we've got some Star Wars books, starting with, actually just one, Darth Vader. This is Darth Vader number 32. Just very interesting. Almost looks like he's abducting them in like kind of an alien spaceship.
I like it. He just so towers over everything, and it's barely any of its attention. And he's like tearing all 4 of their lives up, but just hardly anything for him to do.
So this is Padme's handmaidens are actually going to have to make the decision: are they They went into it definitely being against the Empire Invader, but the way things are working out, it looks like some may be joining him permanently. So we'll have to read it to find out. But once again, Darth Vader remains one of the coolest comics on the stands, and we've got a lot of great variants for this one. So we have the Laraz variant. Everyone loves drawing Vader. He's just a presence. Then we have the Momoko Women's Appreciation Month. Then we have the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary variant.
And I believe that's the 10th one of 40.
Wow.
Says.
They're
Yes.
going by fast.
Okay, so this is the Romy Jones variant for Wasp number 3. And in this one, Janet and Nadia end up in a past timeline where there is no Hank Pym. And so they need to figure out what they're going to do about that and how they can escape. So again, this is the Romy Jones variant for Wasp number 3.
Okay, then we have Extreme X-Men number 4 of 5. I want to show this one off. This is the Tenosian homage variant to that classic Dark Phoenix cover. So always cool. They've been doing some great homage covers.
Doesn't get more extreme than a cover like this. Unless you're talking about a Spawn cover.
It does have chains on it. That's about clowns, sharp teeth, and chains.
So this is the A cover. This is just a regular cover to Gunslinger Spawn number 18. And in this issue, Gunslinger Spawn is going to have to go ask help from somebody he really doesn't like and doesn't want to. No, not the guy in the cover, because the solicitation order reveals it's Al Simmons.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, really great cover on it.
They have such good covers for Spawn.
Yeah, this is the Spears A cover.
And then next we have our second issue of The Last Barbarians, read issue number 1 on our last show. This was a really fun book. And in this one, our main character, Sylv, has joined up with this new potential job to help get money for her and her brother. But it says that her new employer maybe can't be trusted because he can't even remember if they're going to save his son or his nephew. So if the person you're doing a quest for can't even tell you straight what the quest is, you might be in trouble. So I really like the first issue of this. Looking forward to the second. This is our A cover. And I believe all these are by Haberlin. This is our B cover, our C cover, and the Virgin V cover.
All right, this is the main Scotty Young cover for I Hate Fairyland number 5. And in this is the end of the first arc where Gert is getting closer and closer to getting back to Fairyland. So here's the variants. We have the Bean variant, who of course is the incredible interior artist on the series, and the Peach Momoko variant for I Hate Fairyland number 5.
And then we have this really cool variant for Mark Millar's Nemesis Reloaded. This is the Ryan Sook variant. And this one is big because this is the secret origin of Nemesis issue. So get to see his messed up origin. And it's also issue 3 of 5, so kind of right there in the middle.
This is the Lee and Chung variant to Noctera number 12. That's right, Noctera's back. They took a little break. They did sort of the little one-shot thing. Mm-hmm. And now they're back. It's a brand new story arc starting right now. Can't wait to see where things go.
And next up we have Masterverse number 2. I love the first issue of this. I like the we get multiple artists telling very unique stories and kind of their twist on the He-Man and Master Universe stories. So in this one, this is still written by Tim Seeley, but this time the art is done by E.J. Sue for one story and Victor Santos for the other one. So we have a story about Man-at-Arms, and then we have another one about Commander Adam and his captured thief, Jitsu. So if you're familiar with those characters, you know this sounds a lot of fun. And what I like about this is the variants are the interior artists, so you can get kind of a hint of what those are going to be like. So first off, we have the E.J. Sue B cover. You can see with Battle Armor He-Man. And then check this one out. This is the Victor Santos variant. So that's I'm very interested to see what the interior storytelling looks like with that style.
All right, this is the main cover to Harrower #2 by Justin Jordan and Bram Ravel. And in this issue, it's a bunch of teens with just the lights of their cell phones up against a terrible, evil stranger and force that's out to get them. So again, this is the main cover to issue #2 of Harrower.
And then we have Blue Book issue 2 of 5. And we haven't got the first issue of Blue Book yet, but I'm very much looking forward to it. This is by James Tynion with art by Michael Avon Oeming. They are telling people's like firsthand stories of their abductions. And so we get another one of those in this one. It sounds like each of them were kind of standalone tales. So that is #2. This is the A cover, the Oeming cover. And then we have the Hickson variant.
This is one of those books that's going to be really tricky because it's a big person, a big name Tynion, but he's not doing it for DC. You know, he's doing it over at Dark Horse. So a lot of people did not order issue 1. Here we're having to order issue 2 before issue 1 even gets here. So I guarantee a lot of retailers are going to under order this. So make sure you let your store know you want this for sure to guarantee you're going to get it. Okay, so this is the main cover to Darkwing Duck #3. This cover is by Lee Irix. Here is the Andolfo variant. And we also have this Hauser variant. And in this issue, Darkwing decides he wants to finally retire. Something happens where he's like, I'm going to retire. I'm just going to raise Gosselin. But of course, things do not go that simple. You really think he can retire?
No.
And he's only on his 3rd issue. He just got back.
That's too early to retire.
Now, of course, there are a lot more covers in this. We only show some of the most noteworthy ones on the show. It'll take too long. And you can see all the other ones over at infinityflux.net. All right. Now on to our next segment, our final segment, other printings and graphic novels.
Starting off with some Star Wars. First off, this is High Republic Season 2, Volume 1. So this is going to cover issues 1 through 5 of the second phase of High Republic books. If you haven't read the first one, you can still read this one and completely know what's going on. So this is issues 1 through 5 for $17.99. And then we have Mandalorian Season 1, Part 2. And this is going to have issues 5 through 8 of that retelling of Season 1 of The Mandalorian. And this one also is $17.99.
All right, the Marvel miniseries Wakanda is being collected in softcover. It is going to be $17.99. And so each issue told a story about a certain Wakandan person, like the first one was on Shuri, who gets the cover. But I know there was one story about Tozin and sort of his love interest that really flew off the shelf.
Like issue 4, I think?
Yeah, one of those, 3 or 4, but that's told in here too. So again, this is the printing of this for $17.99.
Then we have a collection of Dark Web that just wrapped up. This is a very quick turnaround to put out the trade collected of Dark Web. This is going to be $34.99. It comes with Dark Web #1, Amazing Spider-Man 15 through 18, Venom 14 through 15, Dark Web X-Men 1 through 3, Dark Web Miss Marvel 1 through 3, and Dark Web Finale. So that's pretty much the entire story right there. Very fun. So that is $34.99.
All right. If you got deeper pockets for $125, they're doing a collection of Marvel Age. So this is Marvel Age Omnibus Volume 1. This is from 1982 to 1985. It's the first 34 issues of Marvel Age plus the first annual. I think they started doing the annual in like the 3rd season of it. So, of course, this was sort of a look into upcoming projects that Marvel was doing. That's what Marvel Age was. They would talk about things that they were working on that hadn't even came out yet.
This is very interesting they're doing an omnibus of this. You know, that's almost like an omnibus of previews books or something. But this is what had like the first appearance of He-Man in it.
Yeah.
A lot of like very interesting
first appearances and cameos.
Yeah, of a lot of characters.
Yep. So again, this is $125 for all of that. And it comes in this cover or this other one. They call this one the direct market cover, whatever reason that is.
Yeah. Okay, and then we've got a new facsimile. Of course, great timing. Well, I think we still got a while before the Wonder Man show. But this is Avengers 9 facsimile, the debut of Wonder Man. So if you have any questions about who this character is, what's their story, check out this one.
Okay, and Bishop War College #1 is going to second print. So if you missed out on that issue #1, or you just want to get, the second print, here's the way to do it. It has a very important interior panel in
Yeah,
there.
that big surprise final page.
Yep. So.
And then we have Red Goblin #1, second print. This was very popular. And thankfully, it's going back to a second print pretty fast. So it should be out in time for probably issue 3.
Yep. Okay, and that is our show this week. Thank you all for watching. Again, if you want to take another look at these comics or possibly order some, just go to infinityflux.net. You can just sign up easily. And then once you go to the last call, you'll see the very things we were talking about. You can subscribe. You can just order, whatever cover you want. So if you want to do that, we thank you very much. We'll be back on Monday with our regular show where we review comics.
Yep.
So we will see you then. Have a great weekend.